My goodness, this Viper's a boat.
Hello, just checking in, gonna nap.
What's that? Just doing an endurance race on this. It's an hour long. How have you been? How's life? I think this is rain check, right? Sounds like rain check.
Tired night, dude.
Naps are always needed when tired. Wish I could see who's chatting in the thing. It's the one downfall of the PlayStation. It's an easy pass. I'm a pit on lap 20, so I still got another 2 laps to go.
It's me, Rain.
I thought so. It kind of sounded like checking in. I haven't seen you for a bit. Hope all is well. Hope the little demons haven't been bugging you too much. I had to fix my VR and stuff recently. My PlayStation fell off its stand. My dogs were playing and pulled the cord off.
Been busy going to nap now.
Alright. Have a good nap, sir. Until next time. Definitely go faster in a straight line, or I can go faster in a straight line right now. I think this might just be really fast. Best in the corners, but it's okay. I could stretch that front tire out a little bit more.
Is this with VR headset?
Oh, I was trying to move my hand to get the... Yes, it is. I was unmuting myself.
Looks sick, man, grinning face.
It's a great game to play in VR. Definitely steps the VR game up a little bit. This, and I've also heard that Flight Simulator that came to PlayStation kind of has the same level of detail, so I may have to check that out eventually. But the interiors...
VR looks so awesome, think I'ma buy it too.
Yeah, the PSVR is definitely worth it if you like racing games or even just VR games. It's a lot of fun. The amount of cars that you could drive in this, and especially if you get a good steering wheel, like I'm using a force feedback wheel from Logitech. It's the RS50, which has direct drive, which has like 9 Newton meters of torque into it. It makes it feel very realistic, and having the VR headset on top of that makes it very immersive.
Do you get sick with all that motion?
No. Not at this point. At first I kinda did. It was very trippy being in VR, especially when driving faster cars.
G29 is a good starter wheel though.
G20...
Or should I get something better?
I started on the G29 too. It's a great steering wheel. I still have mine. Definitely a great starter wheel. And don't listen to all the people that say like you need to get a direct drive. I only got a direct drive because it was something that I've been doing sim driving for a while and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to go to the next step. The G920 is or 929 is a great wheel, especially for just like getting a feel for if you actually want to invest in it. And plus you can find those used all the time. And there's so many brands coming out for this stuff. Like there's Moza, M-O-Z-A. They make some really cheap stuff that's actually really good quality. So there's a bunch of companies that are starting to make the field really competitive, and that's good for us consumers. I will say though, if you like driving your racing games without driving in VR, my only warning is once you drive it in VR, it's very hard to go back. Like I almost can't control a car watching it on the TV now. I need the point of view, I need to be able to turn my head. The headset vibrates as well, so if you make contact or bump into someone, you feel it on your head. So you kind of get better contact points of what's going on. Driving is one of those hobbies that once you start, you go down that rabbit hole. It's a deep rabbit hole. I've gotten to the point where I put actual 4-point harnesses on my setup. Like I'm strapped into a seatbelt right now. I have a racing seat and everything, so it feels as real as it can.
I believe you on the top. I got really hyped on some VR goggles now lol.
Yeah, go look at the play. I think they have other ones too, but for the PlayStation you'd have to get the PSVR 2 ones, unfortunately. They're the only ones that work like that, but the headset for what you get is one of the better headsets out there. It has eye tracing, it has cameras on the outside, so there's like a see-through mode, and it's also self-contained besides the cord, so you don't have to have a TV to run anything. You can just plug it into your PlayStation and go from there. These medium tires are starting to slip. I wish more games did the VR, because I'm pretty sure it's just, I haven't found any other ones besides Gran Turismo, but Gran Turismo makes it far worth it. There's so many different tracks and so many different cars. Alright, we got 9 minutes left. I think I can maybe push it on those mediums. It's that driver front that I'm worried about. Because of this turn, it really cooks up that front tire. That's gonna be track limits. No penalty? Okay. Yeah, once you get a wheel, and especially if you're using the VR headset, like I started with the 920, I was just doing the TV thing, and once I saw that Gran Turismo had VR for this, I swapped consoles. I was using Xbox, and I went to PlayStation just for this, and then slowly I got a shifter for it, got a handbrake from Logitech as well. Pedals are, I'm still using the G920, the pedals from them. They're still good pedals. And you can just buy, if you start off with the G920.
Is it a must to get the gear shifter for the G29?
No, you don't need to. And the best part about the G29 is, say you buy like the steering wheel and the pedals, right? Or even if you buy the shifter with it, because the shifter's not that expensive in terms of all things, but if you buy all three of them, and then you eventually upgrade to another Logitech wheel, like an RS50 or the bigger version of it, you can still use the same pedals and the same shifter that you used for the previous one. So you don't have to upgrade your whole setup. You can, like that's what I did. I only bought the wheelbase that's direct drive. That way I could, one piece at a time, then later on I'll buy the brake pedals that come with the more professional one and stuff like that. But the pedal set that comes with that one is still being used, and the gear shifter from that one I'm still using too. I've had them for plus 4 years now. They last forever. My 920 is somewhere around here. It still works too. I'm gonna give that to my nephew when he's a little bit older, and I get pedals for myself. Once I get the nicer pedals, I'll give him the whole set.
Awesome.
Yeah, Logitech did a good thing. I know Thrustmaster does good steering wheels, and Moza as well, and there's a couple other ones, but I just liked how I already had a Logitech wheel, and Logitech made it very convenient to move on from one to the other. So all I had to get was this little converter box that you plugged in the shifter and the pedals into, and it's worked like perfect the whole time. I don't have time to pit. If I pit right now, I don't think I'm gonna be able to pass them again. Only have like 3 or 4 laps left. I gotta really stretch out these mediums. Yeah, if you have this has most of the good tracks too. It doesn't have like Silverstone and stuff like that for F1, but it has a lot of the most famous tracks. It has the Nürburgring, it has Le Mans, as some would say, or most say. Daytona, they have, I think they have one in Canada. Yeah, they have the one they just did the F1 race in Canada too. Gran Turismo 7 has a great community too, like the people that are active in it. There's some drivers that are still very dirty and will bash you off the side of the road, and it really sucks when you feel that impact through your arms when the steering wheel or your rig starts shaking, but it's part of the game, I guess.
Does the VR2 work for other car games too, like One Frank, Assetto Corsa, etc.?
Now, with that, I don't think so. That's the thing, is that the only game that this works with, I believe, or the only one that is currently updated for it, is Gran Turismo. Which, yes, when I first was buying, I had the VR headset before I bought a wheel for the PlayStation, but when I was buying the VR headset, that was one of my thoughts. It's like, I'm not going to buy the headset for just one game. But then, when I started playing Gran Turismo 7, I had no idea how much content and how much stuff there is to do. Like, there's still races that I've never completed on every single one of the tracks, and race experiences. I'm still experiencing and learning how to do new tracks to this day. So there is only one game that works for it, but there's plenty of other VR games that are independent from the steering wheel stuff. Those are a lot of fun too. There's Aces of Thunder, which is like a plane World War II game. That one's a lot of fun. It's made by the same people that make War Thunder, and yeah, that one's fun. The Flight Simulator also has VR. Besides that, there's a bunch of regular VR games that aren't car related, but those are still fun. There's a game called Resist. It gives you 2 grappling hooks on either arm, and you can swing around a city like Spider-Man. Fulfills such a childhood dream. Puts a grin on anyone's face. But the wheel will for sure work on other racing games though, so if you end up having a wheel, you could always, like, I still play Dirt Rally once in a while. I try to get past the fact that I can't drive anymore on a screen, but and Gran Turismo is still getting updates too. Like, we have 5 more cars coming in conveniently right before the actual Le Mans race does happen, but a bunch of prototype type cars that look awesome. And the customization and the tuning in this game is superior to I was a Horizon guy. I used to play Forza Horizon all the time on Xbox, especially. Like I loved Forza Horizon 2 and 3. I still love those games. They're great. But in terms of tuning, it's not like in that game you just throw something on and it's like, oh hey, there's that, and then all the tunings are this or that. But with this game, you kind of have to learn yourself, and it's a lot of fun figuring out what to tune, what to do right, what to do wrong, how to change things. Like certain cars you can't drive, or I can't drive until I put a ballast on the front of them. And 50 out there, the weight ratio, because beforehand they're impossible to drive. Final lap. Alright, medium tire, I need you to hold out for this one more turn. Not this one more lap, not this one more turn. Don't fail me. I'm joining a community race next Monday. This coming Monday, that a fellow YouTuber is hosting, so I'm gonna join up with him. It's gonna be a 2-hour endurance race on this track, so this was a little bit of a practice for that. I made myself a Dodge Viper, put my camo on it, just my livery to make sure it fit the part. Smell my front right tire, or my front left tire. They know my tires are going out. They're slowly catching up. And for the win!
How do you find community races? Through Discord or something?
No, so I found this one. Here, hold on, I'll show you real quick. This one particularly, actually, hold on, I gotta grab my actual headset so I can take this off. Oh, okay. So,
Test 123.
So, with this one, this community race that I'm doing coming up is gonna be just hosted by, I found it by him posting on YouTube itself. So I just found him and saw that he was posting and asking for people to join. He did one recently, which I watched, which was at the track on Spa, which seemed like a lot of fun. So I wanted to join the next one. So he's just kind of planning it, and then in the game there's a community tab for almost all the tracks. So like with this one, it doesn't have a paddock. This is a bad example. Hold on. See if this one does. Nope. Okay, so this paddock thing right here is a perfect example of you can just join. You can just join in with a random lobby that Gran Turismo provides, and from there you can race or just be driving, chilling out with other people, show off your cars, your liveries, and then also there is. These are just the tracks in the Americas that this game has. Europe, all these tracks, different variations. There's dirt tracks and street tracks and all that too. But when you want to do a community race, you go over to multiplayer, and that's the paddock thing I was pointing out earlier. Takes a second to join in. So over here, you can host your own. You can pick a track. You can set up all your things. You can see that some people have joined other people. You can set up your own. You can create your own, and then also, like the one I'll join on Monday is going to be more than likely he will create that lobby, and then he'll send out a join code, which if you're not friends with the person, they can send out a join code, and you can just join from there. And then also, this is the multiplayer version. This is like the actual random races that they'll provide. So what the game does is each week or each day, I think, yeah, um, they give you a new race. So this one, usually the first one is a specified car, so everyone's going to be in that AMG in that race. But this one is going to be GR3, so you can bring your own car. You just got to use your right tires, so you got to use hards, intermediates, or wets. You can see all the effects that they put on there, and then also that. There's also this, which if you're new to Gran Turismo like I was, I didn't know that this was a thing, but this is a manufacturer's cup, and every so often Gran Turismo runs this thing where internationally they let's do manufacturer ranking. So you see all these points. Each one of the races that these people participated in, like this guy, he must have won every one of his races because he has all those points. But he is number one in all of the manufacturers. So everyone that picked Ferrari like I did he's number one. I didn't compete in enough of the races because I wasn't here and I had my wheel or my PlayStation actually had a problem that I had to fix. But you can see all these regional ranking from there too is the same thing. Like you can see people from your region, so local area. So this would be like probably West Coast, Arizona, USA area. So I'm in Arizona. Arizona. See, it even has like you're closer. So like if someone was in your area code, you would be able to be ranked against them in certain races, which is a lot of fun. And they'll do different like this one's the Nuremberg endurance race. And where's the schedule? Event schedule. And you'll see that they schedule these out in advance so you can sign up to participate. And from there, you do each one of the races and hopefully get a good score. It's definitely based off of right above where I'm hovering is the driver score and rating, which you can see C and S. I just barely got mine up to C because it starts you at D and you have to participate in multiple of the online races. And that's the only negative part about the game is I think it's all the controller. Like no offense, no problem for people that use controllers. More players in this game is good, but you can usually tell when they're steering and they're bashing into you and instantly trying to blow you off the road that they're using a controller. Because usually when people have a wheel, they don't want to have to feel that force impact back. But you can get a lot of stuff from. Oops, not that. But you can get a lot of stuff, and also if you ever have interest in actual racing in real life, this game obviously is not iRacing.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's not like iRacing. It's not like an actual. It's not to that scale, but I've learned racecraft at least from this game. So like going around corners on tracks, I used to be terrible at. I used to always go on so fast, and it took me a month and a half to realize finally, hey, going slow around a corner sometimes is better than blaring through and going fast. I think it's going to be the little pile of money. LBW. Okay, let's go see. Should have a good amount. Depending on what type of cars you want, they have so many cars in this game. Like I didn't even really know that GR3 cars were a thing before I started playing this game. Like I knew the endurance race of 24 hours was a thing, and I've watched it before, but I never paid attention to the cars that much, but GR3 cars are a lot of fun. They have GR1 cars. They have like this is we're getting a new version of these ones soon, but they have older cars too. You can customize them. The livery system in this game is awesome. You can really customize your cars to make them look cool. Like I made a. This is my favorite car by far in this game. But I tried to make it blend in with the other Nürburgring races. Oh, I gotta do an oil change anyway. That's the other thing. You gotta like maintain your cars. You drive one car too much, you gotta give it oil changes. I have noticed I have two of these same cars. So I have this one, and then the first one I bought.
Dude, that's sick.
The first one I bought, I put so many miles on it that I noticed that my oil was starting to be like every race or such. It would be like one race I would do, and it started getting dirty. So I bought another one. Started because you can see how many miles you put on them. Like this one, I put. See right next to the excellent, you can see the mileage for it. And this one 807. This one I'd already put 3,000 miles on a race engine, so I had to take this one and go into GT Auto again and do an engine overhaul. So pretty much just replaces all the parts in there and stuff. But the detail in this game is great. Like, here, I'll show you a Nürburgring with some rain. Because the rain in VR really, it looks really cool. They nailed the tracks too. A lot of the tracks just look so perfect. If you have a favorite track or if ever wanted to drive on a track, like I've always wanted to drive on this one. And they have all those races that you would want. Like the power pack for this game has the endurance races. They have the 24-hour Nürburgring race. They have the 24-hour Le Mans. They have the 8-hour Spa race. So you can pretty much play all the big endurance races. They have super formula cars, so you can do F1 races if you want. Let's do what's the one? Time trial. 24 hours. Daytime with some rain. Make sure I have the right tire. How heavy is this rain? The weather system in this game is dynamic as well. So as you can, like right now it's already raining, but sometimes in races the time is set to random for rain, and so you'll have random storms coming in. I'm gonna put on actual wet tires because that looks pretty wet. Alright. Back on the VR headset. The mic will sound a little bit different. I'm not using my Pulse Elite anymore, I'm just using the VR headset when I put it on. Ooh, not centered. Oh! Not a good start. Very slippery. I can see little water droplets on the... It's awesome. And the game uses pretty much real tire data from, like, I think they teamed up with Michelin, I think was the team, or the tire company that they used, but the tires...
So the VR2 comes with an own headset?
Yeah, the PSVR 2 is the headset for the PlayStation. It comes with the headset and it comes with the controllers. It's an accessory for the PlayStation. Massage the throttle in. Let's try real biased. It usually saves me in these situations.
Wow, it looks so fun.
Yeah, it especially gets fun when you're out in the race and then someone, or you forget to put on rain tires and it starts raining. And everyone's caught out slipping around. Oh no. Yeah, it's real wind. Nice and wet out here. Put that on one. Doing the Austin Powers up in here. And there's also, like, if you learn dirt racing, this also has this game also just looks really good. Like, it's impressive how good the cars look. Watch me crash. Like, what's a good dirt track? Ooh, where's that rallycross track? The crossed one. Barcelona. Where's my rally car? There it is. Excuse me. Oh, I have to go put tires on it. Whap whap. There's also a snow map as well. That one's a lot of fun. That one's in Canada. A. This is purely why I got my handbrake. Whoa. Too much speed. Or not enough. Ooh, love tap. It also has a great replay system, so...
Him sold.
You're sold. If you ever, like I'll put this on the background a lot of times when I'm doing something in my room. I'll just have kind of just sitting there, because you can play the replays of all your races, so if you ever have a good race, like that Daytona, or that Atlanta race I just did, I saved that one. It's an hour long, the game saves it, puts it on their little server, and now you can go back and watch your race whenever you want. Like there, I think I just didn't have enough speed. I hit the asphalt a little bit too soon. I love that little transition. Oh, where'd my gloves go? Yeah, they have if you ever wanted to do like any of the major fantasy races that you ever wanted to, if you're a race fan, they got it. Like you can go to International Speedway, just go super fast, or Daytona International Speedway as well, but both of them. Watkins Glen, that's a great track too. See, I still haven't even done these races. Let's do a pickup race. Snow tires. Alright, Tundra, don't let me down. Tundra, go!
Try Race Room, it has VR support as well.
Wait, what was... I'll have to look at the chat, but yeah, I'll check it out. I'll open any of the race games that have the VR. If you've ever been in the interior of a Toyota Tundra, it's insane how spot on they get the interiors in this game. Bigger. That's the one thing. AI in this game aren't very good at dirt driving. Dirt races are a lot more fun when you have actual people. Up it over time. Still fun driving it though. Oh, too fast, too fast. Ah! Yeah, they're just now catching up. I had time to spin out. It's like we're snowboarding. Go, Tundra, go! Full speed ahead. The sound design in this game is also peak. All the trucks and all the exhausts and everything just sounds so good. bitch. Trying to think of what other fantasy this game fills that I haven't shown yet. Obviously rally cars. I did that with the other one. Oh. Anyone feel like Max Verstappen, you know? Ba 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 da. Max Verstappen. Ba 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 da. You want to know what it feels like to drive an F1 car?
What wheel did you say you use again?
I have the Logitech RS50. So that's it's kind of the middle ground between Logitech's big Mac Daddy steering wheel and the G920, but it's the perfect setup for me in all reality. It has 8 Newton meters of torque, which I don't care what anyone says. I know there's ones that do like 12 and 13, but the 8 Newton meters of torque is enough to make my wrist hurt when it grabs me at full force, so you don't need more than that. So any wheel you get, if you get one with 8 Newton meters of force, it's going to feel pretty powerful, and more powerful than what an actual car is. Like, you wouldn't usually feel that much input from a real car. Not usually. Some of the GR1 cars you feel a little bit more intense. Like, I'm doing the Le Mans race right now. If you look at some of my other GT7 videos, I did 3 hours in the first session and then an hour and a half in the second. And the race is so hardcore with the straight and the steering wheel being so powerful that it's vibrating and shaking my hands so much that it starts to hurt. That I pretty much stopped doing the race so far because it's brutal. So 8 Newton meters of torque is all you'll need. It's the RS50 Logitech. If you look that up, it should pop up.
Can I hook up a handbrake to the G29?
Yes. So the handbrake that they have, the Logitech one that I have, I believe, don't take my word for this, but when I was looking at the little booklet that it gave me when I got it, it showed a diagram of the 929 with the adapter. You'll still need to buy this little adapter part that goes in the back of it, I believe, to be able to use it. But after you get the adapter, you should be able to use it fine. It's just the... Maybe I'm trying to think. How does that one plug? Yes, you'll need the adapter for 100% because you need to plug in the USB that goes from the Logitech shifter, the handbrake one, to the adapter that goes into the older wheel setup. Because those old like I think it's 9-prong plugs they have in there. They aren't using the new setup, so that little adapter is the only thing you'll have to get. But I'm almost positive that you can use the wheel, the handbrake, and the older pedals as well, and all in one big combo. Because that Logitech shifter, or the Logitech handbrake, is also a sequential shifter. So if you like sequential gearboxes, that's a shifter right there. Done F1. As in you can, I'll show you this too. You can really customize your, pretty much everything about your driver, everything about your car can be customized. Like they can, if you go over to GT Auto.
Have a great day, my man.
You as well. But you can customize everything, so it's pretty sweet. You can customize your outfit, customize delivery. I can talk about this game all day. It's a lot of fun. This one's good. I think it was my other F1 car that needs an oil change. Where's my Haas one? My older version. There it is. I wish you could sort your cars by which one needs an oil change, because I always seem to select it and then I realize that I need an oil change in my car. Other ones probably need an oil change. I don't even know which ones I've been using. Two. Alright, we're gonna go look at what's in the used car market today, see if it's updated from yesterday, and then go from there. I'll probably call it for now. I do have to use the bathroom.
Oh, that MR2.
Yeah, that MR2 is a lot of fun to drive too. It's the same set of cars. That's the other thing that's cool about this game. It has a used car market. It has a brand central, which is where you can get pretty much any of your new cars. So you can... They don't have as many American manufacturers, which I'm more of a JDM guy, but...
That 300ZX doesn't climb up low mileage after. I've been waiting for a year.
I think I already have that ZX. I think, at least. Let's go see. Because I think I had blue marks on all of these cars. Blue, yep, I already own it. That is pretty damn low miles, though. I have the money. When in Rome. What's 2 cars? This just means I can sell one if one.
I'ma go buy 4. Lol.
You're gonna go buy 4 of them? I don't have this Porsche yet. I don't think I'd drive it anyway. What's in the legendary car? Is there anything good? I know I need to save my money though for the new that Ferrari.
Should I pick up a PSVR 2?
My vote's always yes. That's here I'm hold on, give me 1 second.
Yes. It's on sale.
Yeah, RL will tell you. He's one of the guys that I was watching before my setup was as good as it is now. So he's been using VR probably longer than me.
Yeah, I think I'll get it.
It's a lot of fun. Community's great. Races are a lot of fun.
Is completing the licenses from GT7 enough to start entering daily races, just in terms of skill? VR since launch.
Is it enough?
Do menu books tomato?
Tomato?
Yamato.
Yamato. So with the licenses, they give you good basic skills. I definitely suggest doing them. It's the first thing I did when I got into Gran Turismo, because one, you get to drive a lot of cool cars, which is nice in the beginning because you don't have a lot of cool cars. So you get to drive cars you don't have, and yes, it will teach you the basics. But like I was saying, it's taken me forever to get better at being bad, if that makes any sense. Like in VR, I'm never sitting there like I gotta be first. If I don't win, it's pointless. It's more like if I'm having fun, that's all that matters when I'm playing. So I'd rather fight for last place with someone that's driving good than bad. But to get into the daily races, I think the main thing you need to have is track knowledge. That's the thing that's gonna set you back if you go into a daily race, because like if I do a daily race on the Nürburgring, I can pull 4th, 5th position. That's how I've been ranking up my thing. They had a Nürburgring race in the daily races. But if you say if it goes on to like I can't drive Spa for some reason. Spa is a track I struggle on. But what I did is you do these track experiences on the bottom, and you can get a better gauge and a better understanding on how to drive that track, because each track is different. And then as you do that, you'll notice things. Here, I'm gonna go to I'll just use Spa as an example. Let's bring the MR2 out. I'll show you examples on track. So, when you're racing in any of the tracks, right here, these markers are your best friends. Like all these things, these brake markers, these curb markers as well. As you start driving more, I've started to realize they don't mean nothing, or they mean something. They're not just there for show. So if you pay attention to all these tracks, generally you can go on a track that you're not good at and have a good idea of what you're doing, but most of the time I would always suggest for the daily races, especially if you want to have a chance at winning, is I would do a couple practice races on that track that the daily race is on, so you understand how to actually drive on that track instead of going through it and messing up. Like this turn right here, if you're in a GR1 car, you have to let off at a certain point, else you'll go over the curb right there, and then boom, you have a track penalty. So each track is a little bit different, and it takes some practice on each of them to learn. Like I said, I'm not good on Spa. Don't judge. I was saying this earlier, but the customization in this game is beyond anything in Forza Horizon for the sake of the details that it adds. The sound details in Forza, when you change a car, it kind of just becomes this muffled engine sound that like is default. With this, I don't know how they did it, but each car that you upgrade sounds like the car that's being upgraded. Like this sounds like an MR2, and the effects that it has, like I have high revving cams. I can rev all the way up to 9,000 RPMs because of those high revving cams. So you actually see the effects of all the things that ooh, my goodness. You actually see the effects of all the things that you're adding to your car. Which in a lot of the other racing games, they give you performance points, so they'll make your car faster, but they don't actually change the sound or the feeling, how the car performs. When you first start the game, besides the licenses, this is more where you're gonna... I'll show you real quick. There's a separate section. If Gran Turismo has a campaign, this is what it would be. It would be the menu items. So they have obviously the licenses. You learn a lot from them. They're a lot of fun. But over here in the cafe, when you first start, they will give you these menu books, and as you can see, there's a shit ton of them. That goes all the way down to number 1. But it's going to start you in Japanese compact cars. Like most Gran Turismos, it goes through and you kind of upgrade and get to faster and faster cars as you go. But this is where you're going to learn a lot of your racecraft, is by doing these races, and you'll slowly just start learning the tracks as you go. So that combined with doing a lot of the licenses, you'll learn in no time. It's definitely one of those things that you got to keep. It's like a skill you got to polish, if that makes any sense. If I stop driving and I don't drive in Gran Turismo in VR for a day, 2 days, 3 days, I can feel the progressive worse. I get worse as it goes away. Like, it's definitely something that practice makes perfect. So the more you do it, the more it becomes like second nature to do things correctly. Like my biggest flaw when driving is I'll be driving in one of those GR3 cars. You can pretty much send them full speed through 90% of the corners, but I used to not turn them enough. So I would just turn and 50, 25% of what I needed to, and then end up in the barrier.
Takes a lot of seat time.
Yeah, just as you get used to it, it gets easier. And there's still, like, I can't drive on Spa. Don't know why. I also did the 24-hour race on Nürburgring and had, like, 20 laps on that one that I was just going, cruising, no incident. But also in that same race, I had, like, 3 laps where I crashed every corner. So it's a variation. Where's Where would be... What am I looking for? Oh, this one. But they have, like... This was a track I could barely do beforehand. No, I'm not too bad at it.
Just drive and try and learn each time you go out.
That's what's important. Yep. And I will say for... Uh-oh. Stop tracking. What happened? Oh, we're good. I will say for certain this game makes my heart pump when I'm in online races like no other game has ever made me. Like, it actually gives me some anxiety. Like, when I'm doing multiplayer races, I have like a ritual where that like 5 minutes before it starts, I have to like get water. I have to sit there and like be relaxed because it gets intense, man. These races are hardcore. Oh, I have wets on. Oh no. No, I have no traction.
Oh, is that what you do when we race?
No, when I race with you, Aurel, I don't have a chance to simmer down. I see the counter that goes down on my screen for 8 seconds, and I'm like, oh shit, panic. I'm getting better though. I feel like doing more online races like I'm doing is helped. I just have flashbacks from I was in that D rating for so long, and all those races just turned into a bumper car match. To the point where I turned off my seatbelt dampener thing when I'm driving on online races completely, because I just don't risk it anymore. It's not worth it. At least if I crash and I feel it in my own races, I know what happened, but I get smacked by someone going 140, it doesn't feel too good.
Ya just have to climb out of the rank.
Yeah, it's a slow climb. It took me 10 races though to get to C, so that's not too bad.
You can send me your belt tensioner.
Oh no. Oh. Belt tensioner. You're not getting that, that's mine. I have it on right now. I just don't have it on. Like when I actually think it was that, I don't know who it was that crashed into me, but that one race, it was in one of your lobbies, RL. I know it was, the guy did it by accident, but it like really knocked the wind out of me. It was surprising. I think I may have just hit my pen too, so I was like mid-cough. I was like not expecting it. It knocked the shit out of me. Let's go drive I want to show a really old car. I feel like that would be a good example too. Just to see like the interiors of them. Just how neat it is. Like the FJ Cruiser may be a cool one. Like a VW Bug. Where's that was a good one, right? Is that the right track I'm thinking of? That's not. Is this it? Oh no, it's a good one. That's the one I'm thinking of. Dun, 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 dun. If you ever want to drive a Willys Jeep, you can do it in this game. That one looks cool in VR. Where is... Do I have any old F1 cars? Where's that one? Where's the Honda? I'm having to strafe left and right with my headset to look. Big Brian O'Connor from Fast and the Furious. There's also a bunch of concept cars and like legendary cars that are in this game. Oh, the Beast. That's what I'll drive. Best car in the game right here. No need to be afraid. This fucking car is so funny to me. Go, Twingo, go! completely factory, I promise. Came like this stock. Roll cage and everything. Those are always funny replays. The little wing on the back. All that downforce it gives me. Oh, I know another feature I can show. I gotta get out of the seatbelt for it though. Here, hold on. Just take some trust in knowing where my room, how my room's set up, because I gotta stand up with the VR headset. But hold on, let's go look at the correct car. So they also have this in Brand Central when you buy a car, but if you're ever looking, wrong button. If you're ever looking to see what a car looks like in real life, you can hit it with one of these. So I'm gonna grab my actual controller, stand up. Oh, gotta stay in this little area because that's just a circle. That's a good example. Let's go look at the F1 car. Obviously, I don't know why I'm a dwarf right now. Alright, you can at least see how... Yeah, okay. Trust me, the floor is not where it's lining up. I'm not this small. Why is it doing that? Why can't I go taller? Reset width. Either way, you can look at through the VR and see the cars up close, which is cool. Alright, let's not break anything on the way down. Okay. Plus, if you're the artiste type, you can do one of these. So I'm in Arizona, so you can, whatever state, country you're in, they have a lot of them here, but I go there, select Arizona. These are all spots from Arizona. Pick one. Actually makes sense. Then you can, from there, it's a good car for there. And then you can do that with any of your cars, so if you ever want to like show them off or do anything like that, you can make little setups and scenes for them. I've made a couple of, you can even put your driver guide down there. I made it look like Max was stopping and was chasing me. Alright, but on that note, I am going to be calling it there. I'm gonna let a replay play for a bit as I straighten things up around here, put all my headset and stuff away. But besides that, oh, collection, nope. Shared items, my items. There it is. Sure, let's watch this one. This is a long ass one, isn't it? This is an hour long. Well, I'll let this one play for a bit. I don't know if this will fully play out. Closing notes. I would definitely suggest getting the PSVR. I play this game more than any other game that I've played. I used to play Helldivers every day, but I play this every day now. So it's a great game to play, and it's a lot of fun. You learn driving skills, racecraft, all the things. So definitely suggest it if it's in your wheelhouse, especially with a good wheel. But I will leave you guys at that. Thank you for watching. Thanks for coming by. I'll see you guys next time. I'll let this replay play for probably some of the time. Probably not all of it, but yeah, I appreciate you guys. See you next time.
Harel check out at Super Jonako. He is another VR racer and he's hosting a community 2-hour endurance race next week. Sign of the horns, more racers for the VR cow. Face blue, white eyes.